Welcome to Ground Control, and look at what showed up at the hangar today. It is the XK A220 P40 ready to fly Warbird. It's courtesy of Banggood. I want to thank them much for sending this item for review. So what comes in the box? You get an assembly diagram, you get a manual. It comes with one 1S 400 milliamp hour 20C LiPo. Mine weighs 12.2 grams. It comes with the XK transmitter. This is mode 2. Throttle and rudder are on the left. The aileron and elevator are on the right. The button on the top right of the transmitter is for your switching between your 6G and 3D modes. And the button on the top is for your low rate and your high rate. So it comes with a spare prop. It comes with a set of screws, quite a few screws in there, a screwdriver, a USB charger for the battery. The battery has the little flat white connector on it. And the prop is approximately 5 1/4 inch diameter prop. On the assembly, all I had to do, everything comes assembled except you have to attach the main wing, you have to attach the landing gear, you have to attach the prop and the spinner, and it looks like one of those breakaway type prop and spinner assemblies. It's got a center screw that holds the prop and breakaway adapter onto the spinner. So I assume one of the screws that came with it is probably a spare one of those. It looks like I also have spare screws for the cowling. It has a plastic cowling in the front that is held on by 4 screws, I believe. On the main wing, you will have a cable for the aileron servo that you have to attach to the board that's housed in the fuselage. And so there's 3 sockets. The third socket from the one closest to the tail, if you count up 1, 2, 3, that's the socket that you're going to connect it to. There are 2 screws that hold the main wing on, and there are a couple of plastic snaps, so the wing will actually snap in. And then you have 2 retaining screws, one down here with this red plastic inlet is for the screw, and then one at the top of the battery bay. So I just picked 2 screws out of the pack that would fit that and use those because it doesn't really say what screw goes to what. The landing gear just slot into the plastic keepers. The wingspan is 384 millimeters, which is approximately 15.1 inches. So it's a very small plane. It's made out of EPP foam, which is very, very durable. I did move all of my control rods to the outer holes on the clevises for the ailerons and the elevator. I left the rudder control rod at the control horn in the center position, so I didn't want to cut the movement of the rudder down too much. So when I connected those, it's got plastic clevises on it, threaded plastic clevises, so I made sure that I bound up to it. I put it in 3D mode so that the gyro would not move the control surfaces, and then adjusted the clevises when I connected them so that everything was nice in a neutral position with the trailing edge of the wing. And then the elevator was in a neutral position and the rudder was completely straight. So let me see. Here's some more information on it. Alright, so my all-up weight on this was 68.5 grams. As I stated, the battery weighed 12.2 grams, the prop's 5 1/4 inch. It says that you can get approximately 10 minutes of flight time with this plane. It has a range of 150 meters. The transmitter does take 4 AA batteries, and it has a coreless 1020 motor and gearbox spinning that prop. So, are we ready to take it out and test it? And you can bind up to it with a multi-protocol transmitter. I bound up to it with my TX16S using the V911S protocol, sub-protocol E119. Everything bound up and it works fine. It's in 6G mode. Now, I tried setting up gyro selection on a 3-position switch on channel 5, and it didn't do anything. I got online and went to the multi-protocol.org website to try to find information on those protocols, and all it has is that channel 5 is for calibration. It doesn't say anything about changing the modes on the gyro. I may try moving that setup for the gyro to different channels to see if anything works, but right now the only thing that's working on the hobby grade transmitter is everything is working in a 6G mode, but not in 3D mode. So if I can figure out later on how to do that, then I will post that information on our Facebook page. So let's go out and do a test flight on it with the stock transmitter, and then we'll do a test flight with the hobby grade transmitter. I'll see you out there.
Okay, I have the XK P40 Warhawk out here for its first flight today. Wind is only about 3 to 4. All right, let's see if we can get it in there. Oh, that takes right off. I think I'm gonna have to put it in high rate. Yeah, had it in low rate. Boy, there wasn't much aileron there. That's better. Oh man, that's pretty quiet for a brushed motor and gearbox. Putting in a lot of rudder, I guess I could slow it down a little bit. Whee! Oh, right in the sun. That wasn't good. It's pretty stable, but you know, it moves pretty fast through the air. Let's see if we could slow it down even more. Isn't that quiet? I don't think I've ever seen a brushed motor and gearbox that were that quiet. And whoa, I don't know what happened there. It had plenty of speed. It broke the prop. It just rolled over on me. Interesting. Alright, that was really, really strange. Alright, I think I've got my spare prop with me. So, I'll put another prop on it, but that was really, really strange. I mean, when I was giving it stick, trying to get it to turn with the ailerons, I did not have nearly as much angle as that just performed when it rolled over on me. So, I don't know, glitchy gyro. I'll see if I can fix the prop, and then we will put it back in the air again and see. Okay guys, I got my spare prop on there. So let's try that again. That was really strange. I've got it in high rate this time. You think maybe I was just flying it too slow? Maybe it doesn't like to fly slow? I got my timer set here. I've got the same flight battery in it that I had before. Little twitchy in the elevator, yeah, in high rate mode. Right over top of the truck. Oh, did you see that? Alright, I'm going to try to use a little less rudder. But I don't have much in the way of aileron. I'm going to have to move those control rods. Come back. I'm going to have to move those control rods on the elevator. Well, I guess I didn't hurt the gearbox. But most of my turn authority is coming from the rudder, not from the ailerons. Very quiet plane. I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't like to fly slowly. I'm curious to see if that happens again. I think I just missed that scrub over there. Now, I'm going to bank it hard just to see what it does. What is going on there? It's like I had no elevator. I was putting in full elevator and it was not coming up. Look, see that? It almost rolled over on me again. It does not like to fly slow, guys. Yeah, it does not like to fly slow, and the amount of, the balance on it, the CG looked like it was right on the mark. But it doesn't like flying slowly. Especially in a turn, it will drop a wing. But I don't know what's going on with that elevator. It's almost like it's kind of intermittent. I'm gassing it up in the turns so it doesn't drop a wing. Look at that, it's full elevator right there. I don't know what's going on with the elevator. Has some strange behavior. Of course, you never know. It may not be the plane. It may be the transmitter, right? So after I get to the end of this battery pack here, I'm going to put it in the air with the hobby grade transmitter that I've already got bound up to it and see if it has that same behavior, you know? Sometimes the elevator seems to kick in, and like right now, that's full elevator I've got there. And I could barely keep it off the ground. So, don't know what's going on with that. I hope it's the transmitter, not the plane. I hope I don't break another prop, because that's the I'm already on my spare. Okay, so let's see if we can bring it in and land it. There goes my timer. I'm real curious just to see if, come on, elevator. Oh no! Well, it's a breakaway prop. Hopefully it didn't break it. Now it looks like the prop is still intact. That's good. But yeah, some strange behavior, and it does feel kind of heavy for its size. So I think in the turns, this is not like to fly slow, especially in the turns. So anyway, I am going to snap my prop back on it and pull out my hobby grade transmitter and see how it handles with it. Okay, so I moved my control linkage for the ailerons to the top hole from the bottom hole because the rate mode on let me see, it should be in high rates to begin with. Okay, but with the hobby grade transmitter, I don't have a way of switching into 3D mode. But anyway, let's see if we can get it in the air. Yeah, that's much better on the aileron. This one you really need to use rudder with to get it to turn. Yeah, it's definitely better aileron authority. And now it seems to want to climb on me. That was full down elevator just to descend. So yeah, I don't know about that gyro. Right over the truck. Yeah, the elevator just feels a little, I don't know, sporadic, I guess would be a good word for it. Now I've got full down elevator. And it was just slowly descending. Well, it's much smoother on the hobby grade TX, that's for sure. But still, you know, it just seems like it's not consistent. You know what I mean? Like 1 minute it'll climb fine, and then the next minute I give it a bunch of elevator and I can't get it to pull the nose up. And 1 minute, you know, if I put a little down elevator, it'll descend pretty abruptly, and then the next time I do it, you know, I got to give it full down elevator just to get the nose down. So I'm gonna say that this is probably a gyro issue. It's certainly nothing wrong with the hobby grade transmitter. I've got my timer set for 5 minutes. And I don't know if it's got some elevator dialed in with the ailerons, but it's, you know, normally when you're going into a turn, if you're not applying any back pressure on the elevator, it'll descend a bit. But this one, just about every time I go into a turn, it wants to ascend. So I'm just wondering, I didn't see it on the ground, but I'm just wondering if they've got some elevator dialed in to the ailerons. I don't know, or the rudder, one of the two, because I'm applying both. When I make a turn, I'm applying elevator and rudder. Like right there, coming out of the turn, I wasn't touching the elevator, and it was wanting to ascend, and then right there, when I gave it a little bit of rudder, it really kind of kicked over abruptly, and then it smoothed out. I didn't do it in that turn. Now, see that where you get that abrupt wing wag when I put in rudder turning to the left, and I don't seem to get that when I go to the right. All right, and there's full elevator right there. Whee! And my timer's about ready to end. Okay. Let's see if we can bring it in from the opposite direction. It looks like I'm free and clear to navigate. There we go. That was much better. But the wheels on it don't turn very well, so it does nose up like that. So, well, when you're coming in for a landing, you probably want to make sure that you're completely off of the throttle and that prop is not spinning when it touches down. So if it noses over, you don't end up breaking a prop, because those tires and wheels are pretty stiff. They don't roll very freely. Okay, so I wish I'd had a chance to put it in 3D mode, but I wanted to check out the gyro and see what kind of behavior it had on the first outing. And I can tell you it's a little strange, you know. But I'll meet you back at the hangar, and I'll tell you what my thoughts are so far. I'll see you back there.
Okay, so that was an interesting couple of flights. The plane I think it's got kind of heavy wing loading for the size of the plane, and so after going back and reviewing the video, I'm convinced that what I saw there when it crashed was an actual tip stall, because right before that happened, I'd made a circuit and I said, well, let me see if I can slow it down some more. And then I slowed it down and I made a turn with it, and it dropped the wing and spiraled down into the ground and broke the prop. So I will say that this has the quietest brushed motor and gearbox I've seen so far. So they did a really good job with the quality of the gearing on the gearbox. But you can't fly it too slow, even in 6G mode, or it will drop a wing on you, and it will, tip stall, drop a wing, and spiral into the ground, just like it did for me. So I'm going to make a couple of adjustments to it. I'm going to take a little bit of the rudder out of it, try and decrease the movement on the rudder. It's in the center hole right now, so I can move that to the outer hole. The elevator, I think I'm going to leave it where it is, but I did find the gremlin, why it was ascending when I was coming out of a turn. And I was hoping that they performed this mixing in the transmitter, not in the gyro, but they actually did the mixing in the gyro. And what it does, they mixed elevator in with the throttle. I thought maybe they'd mixed elevator in with either the rudder or the aileron, because I was using both in the turns. You can't get this to turn very well unless you also use some rudder in addition to the ailerons. So when I'm throttling up, coming out of a turn, the elevator is coming up with the amount of throttle. So as I increase the throttle, the elevator comes up higher and higher and higher, which explains why as soon as I come out of a turn, because I'm in the throttle a little bit, I don't want it to tip stall, it climbs. And then because I'm climbing, because I'm still in the throttle a bit, I'm having to push the elevator stick all the way down just to get it to gradually descend. Now, I can kind of understand the thinking behind that. I think the thinking behind that was that normally when you're in a turn and you're applying throttle, you have to apply a little bit of back pressure on the elevator to keep the nose up. But when you're flying it, when you've got a 6G gyro in it, the gyro will do that automatically in the turn to keep the plane straight, to keep the plane level, the nose and the tail level. So you don't need to mix in elevator with it if your gyro is working properly. You know what I mean? So that kind of creates more problem than it solves. So I didn't put it in 6G mode yet because I was trying to figure out what this strange behavior was all about, and now I know. So the next time I take it out, I'll put it in 6G, or not 6G, 3D mode, and we'll see if I'm able to hang on to it in 3D mode. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any documentation in this protocol on what channel this plane is listening on for switching from 6G to 3D mode, what channel it's on, what, you know, whether it's plus 100, minus 100. I tried channel 5, I tried channel 6, I tried channel 7, I tried channel 8, and I could never get this thing to switch into 3D mode with the hobby grade transmitter. So unfortunately, right now I'm stuck flying it in 6G mode instead of 3D mode with the TX16S. But I'm going to make some adjustments to it, and then we'll take it back out and put it in the air again and see what the 3D mode is like. But at this point, I'm thinking there are better options out there for a beginner plane than this one. So anyway, I'll see if I can get it to fly a little bit better. Next time I take it out, it will see what 3D mode is like.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the air.